the lawyers of the SG, in this case, Ngobani Sithole, gave an interview, and in that interview, he gave dates of when the CCC was formed, and he gave 21st February and 22nd February 2022. It turned out that that became an issue because that is not what is in the papers, in the opposing affidavit. So when that became an issue, he then wrote a response, kind of like a public circular, to correct that. And in that public circular, he made it clear that no, the dates are actually 21 January and the 22nd January, and he explained the events behind that. And he made it clear that the error was as a result of a long day at work, a long day in the office, but otherwise he's clear on the date. Now, but why I'm bringing that up, because he then says in that correction, he goes further to give legal analysis of what just happened. He says, look, you have already appealed at the Supreme Court for the 4th of November judgment, which Honorable Prince Tubego and others lost. Says you've already appealed, and the matter has been set down for the 1st of December, that appeal. And so he seems to suggest that already grants them remedy to the recalls, meaning that before the matter is heard, there will be no recall. So he seems to suggest that you're not supposed to be in this court because you've already got your remedy, your alternative remedy, so to speak. Well, I differ because I think that the appeal is not CCC. The appeal is the plaintiffs, which is Honorable Tubego and others, whereas in this case, this is CCC as a juristic person that is seeking this interim relief. But anyway, that is yet to be decided. That's okay. And then number two, he comes to this, which I think is going to be important information to watch, and it's really going to be contested, right? He says, you've brought a constitution, and look at how he even talks about how they brought this constitution. He says, you did not bring it in your founding papers, and which it's known, it's tried really in legal practice. You don't bring something new. You basically just furthering your case with regards to the responses that have been brought by the opposing affidavit. But anyway, so he impeaches that you didn't have this issue, or you didn't have the constitution in your founding papers. And now you are bringing this issue. So already he's saying this is improper before the court. And then he then goes further and he says, Article 12 of this constitution which you brought says this constitution will come into effect the day it's signed. This constitution which you have since brought is signed, but it's not dated, which means, or technically, it has not yet come into operation, and you are bringing it to court. Now, why is that critical and why is that important? What it simply means is, you are claiming to be representing CCC, and the constitution, which should be the founding document of this CCC, that document, by its own admission, it has not yet come into operation. So in other words, there is no CCC that you are representing. It is yet to be born. And then he goes further, he says, anyway, the first time we have seen this document, it was on the 3rd of October when it was submitted to ZEC. That's what he says. On the contrary, the interim SG has a constitution which is signed, which is submitted to Parliament when he made the recalls, and also submitted to ZEC, right? So it's dated, it's in operation. The other one is not dated, and clause 12 of the same says, I will only come into effect the day I'm dated. So there is no constitution to speak of. So the argument he is making is that you lack standing. You lack standing. Back to that whole issue of local stand. You lack standing to claim to be CCC or to represent CCC. That's where the issue is going to be, in my view. Right. But leave the legal issues aside. Look at the new lexicon which has been introduced into this argument. In that write-up, he says, talking about this constitution, he says it's for the new, look at that word, it's for the new CCC party led by Advocate Chamisa. What are we reading here? We are, because you wanted to find out how this thing is playing out, and this is now not legal now this is now politics. Because now you have a situation where it's being introduced, in my view, for the first time, because all along the interim SG has insisted that he's not after the president, that the president will remain the president. He is going after the criminals around him. But for the first time, through his counsel, he says there is a new CCC which is led by the change champion-in-chief. Let me close with this. I have said this ad nauseam, and you people have hated me, have insulted me when I said these two warring parties need to sit down and find each other. The courts are a zero-sum game. You know, there should be a winner and a loser. You are never going to resolve political issues in the arena of law in courts. You're never going to do that. So, as I said last time, the lawyers are going to get rich. This issue is not about to be resolved. The warring parties are going to be fatigued and broke. Why don't they talk to each other? Even if the politicians don't talk, why don't you get counsel? Because counsel is talking all the time about these legal issues. Last time we saw them last week having a consent order. So they talk. Why don't they talk and try and find each other? Because politics is about different ideas. It's about persuading each other. It's about compromises. It's really about accommodating each other's interests as far as possible. And right now, all I see is distraction, is division, is suppression, is trying to prove really peripheral issues, really small issues. And now this big political issue is going to be decided on technicalities. And my fear is, if this write-up, which is on social media, is anything to go by, that constitution is not going to stand. Because it's mutually destructive. When you're saying, I'm bringing this constitution, which is a live and a living document, and that document says, I am only going to leave when the day I'm signed, and it's signed, but it has no day. And you are fighting about a party which is already alive, which is already in parliament. So then the issue will be this constitution, which supposedly is the founding document of this thing we're fighting about. When did it come alive? Pursuant to its clause to its clause 12. So friends, let me go back to the fields. I'll need to eat. My kids will need to eat. But yeah, we are on some voyage, unnecessary voyage, if you ask me. It's an unnecessary voyage. We should have avoided this at all costs. Let these people sit down. Stop inciting them against each other. They are comrades. They will remain comrades. This fight has got only one winner. It's got only one winner. It's got only one winner, this fight. And it's not any of the CCC warring factions. It's got only one winner. It's not any of the factions in the CCC. Stop this nonsense. Come together. Talk. Talk. Because we've reached a stage which is existential. Not only for one of the parties, but in my view, to both of the parties. Because it will seem that the one that may win the legal battle will lack the political impetus or the political momentum. And it looked like the one with the political momentum will lose the legal battle, which is going to take them another 5 years. And 5 years, if you ask me, in politics is eternity. Goodbye, my folks. See you next time. The fields are waiting.